Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And we're back to cover episode 2 of season 3 of Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology, entitled Burn the Witch! So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace.
And explore Gotham.
That's right, BlueDragonFive. That's right. We are back, episode 2 of Gotham season 3. I don't know, Dragon. It's going to be a fun conversation to be had here because certainly some good elements. There's certainly some elements here that I'm left a bit questionable. It's a mixed bag this episode, just like episode 1 was. So without further ado, do you have anything you want to say before we break it down in the thesis statement for the episode?
Yeah. Here's just my overall kind of thoughts without really talking about it. I like this episode. I just have 3 elements of it that I'm just mixed on. Is that my instinct is to say they're bad, but the more I think about it, I keep going back and forth. Like, well, there's a lot of redeeming value to this, but it's like not instantly. It's not just clean cut. Like this is a horror movie, except for a line, which we'll get into later in the episode. But it's not like clear cut. I mean, there are 3.
I'm gonna take that line and literally put it on my wall.
Okay, let's not do that. But you know what I mean, though. I mean, again, I think this episode has a lot of really good stuff going for it. I think it's a solid episode. Again, just 3 moments of just they're mixed. I don't know quite how to feel about them. We have a lot of those this season. It's gonna make it a little frustrating because it gets mixed.
It's funny because that's just standard Gotham at this point. There's a lot of really cool stuff. I feel like Penguin has really kicked into high gear again. I'm fascinated to see where his story goes from here. But then you get into some train wrecky stuff. Like I have no idea what the hell they're doing with Ivy. I mean, I'm willing to keep an open mind about stuff like that, but I don't know. At the same time, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. So let's get right into it then.
Let's jump into it then. All right.
So we pick up right where the last episode left off, where Bruce was abducted by a Talon from the Court of Owls.
Woo! Woo!
Yes, don't look over your shoulder, Tiki. I think there's one right behind you. No, seriously. So Bruce arrives. The mask is pulled off for when he was knocked out, kidnapped, and brought to the. I'm going to call her the court representative. We also have a name on her, but before we get to that, court representative, then her actual name.
Okay.
So Bruce arrives for a meet with the court representative, who unmasked herself and is revealed to be a woman by the name of Catherine, who I got from IMDb. Apparently that was on the money, so yay for IMDb on that one. So our court representative, Catherine, who Bruce recognizes from fundraising. It would be interesting to go. Obviously didn't think about Court of Owls that early on, so I don't know if they're actually going to have the same actress or not if you go back, but I bet dollars to donuts is just going to be they said, okay, well, Bruce recognized her. We never seen her before. Bruce recognized her.
I can get that because there's a lot of people who pass through Wayne Manor. There's a lot of stuff we don't see with Bruce's life. Keep in mind, Bruce's life is not the main focal point of the show. It is Gordon's journey at the end of the day. So,
anyway, so Catherine is recognized by Bruce because he recognized her from Wayne events. And one of the great lines that Tiki, when I heard this line, was I really love this whole opening scene with Bruce, by the way. I think it's a great scene. Again, the court stuff's been very strong so far this season. This is one of those, another nail and kind of oh my God, it's like a nail and kind of the weapon we're building here at the Court of Owls.
You know what? I hate to say it, Dragon. I hate to say it. I hate to make this bold-ass comparison right now, but this episode is the closest thing we've come to a Breaking Bad cold open. Is it not though? It's got all the fixins.
Kind of is. I mean, now I think of it, it's a strong cold open. Again, it's all Court of Owls goodness. It's kind of like one of the cartel meetings from Breaking Bad.
No, that was exactly what I'm thinking of. Like a classic standoff in the desert with the sun going over them, and yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so the line that really struck me is instantly, oh man, this is the Court of Owls. I know, Tiki. When Bruce Wayne just has the realization saying, "You've been in my home."
Yeah, that's what did it for me too. Because we all know how invasive the Court of Owls are in terms of just having secret passageways into people's homes and stuff like that, which is of course something that you and I hope we get into with this season.
And right off the bat, they did something that was really good with Bruce's. Realization, oh my God, I've seen her. She's been slipping under the radar for years, and she's one of the heads of of the Court of Owls. Just that realization of one of the things Scott Snyder always pushed for in the Court of Owls book was that anyone could be a member of the Court of Owls. They're underneath that kind of that owl mask, and it could be anyone you know, any high society person. You know, could be anyone. Could be like a politician, could be a mayor, could be a cop. You don't know. It could be anyone. So again, they had that terror right there. Bruce kind of recognized, and had been in my home, or and again behind my parents' murder, all that sort of stuff going on in his head. So really on the edge of my seat right there at the beginning of this episode. So,
yeah, really quick, just to flashback, just to beginning when Catherine, she takes off the mask right at the beginning, like, you know, oh, is that better, Bruce? It's like you know what I mean. It's like taking off the mask. It's like kind of putting Bruce at ease, or trying to put Bruce at ease. Like the mask is definitely like a symbol of power. Yeah,
she forgot to. Oh, you know, she's going for like a very civil yet tense meeting. So instantly she kind of shows that we're on the same playing field here. You know, no formalities, no kind of scare tactics.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's kind of like
reality here, Bruce.
It's this great thing where there is a lot of subtle power exercising going on, Tiki, where again, it's like moving the mask is showing like, hey, I hold all the cards here. I'm going to put you at ease. You know, just the removal of the mask right there. So it's a very civil, very tense conversation. I love this again right from the get go. Like he's mentioning, what you didn't have to fight Alfred. You didn't have to knock out Alfred. Says Alfred was, he wouldn't have let you go alone. So he had to be knocked. Again, it's a very logical argument the court's making here.
Yeah, and cold logic, of course, is one of the terror things that the Court of Owls operates on.
Certainly. Then we have this great bit where it's, Bruce is like making all the accusations. You're behind Indian Hill, you're behind Hugo Strange, and all that stuff. And then we have, I think Catherine is really well acted here. By the way, I think it's a very strong representation.
I really hope that Catherine is, and I'm pretty sure she is going to be, at least for the first half of the season, the main antagonist.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Tiki, I really hope the ending. We'll get to this more with speculation, but real quick, I really hope the ending of this, ending of the first half is going to be all the rest of the Court of Owls at the table with the mask on.
Oh yes, that'd be great.
Saying now we have to deal with the Wayne boy.
Maybe there's like people we know involved.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh my God, what if Mayor James is one of the Court of Owls?
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. That'd be great.
No, I think he's too weak sauce for the Court of Owls. We'll see, though. We'll see. Maybe it could be in that mayor. Again, Commissioner Loeb would be an excellent mayor of the Court of Owls, though. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, let's see. So, point is, she has really great lines. Like, is that why you're here, Bruce? It's well delivered. I'm not doing any justice. Is that why you're here, Bruce? To ask questions you already know the answers to? So then Bruce asked the question.
That's a very Snyder-esque line.
Yeah. Well, this moment right here, this to me is so the Bruce Wayne I love from this show. This is like he has such a Batman moment as a kid, though, where he says he's asking the smart question right after she subverts his expectations, or he asks, what do you call yourselves? Like, oh, yeah, what does your organization call itself? Because, again, I love that they're kind of teasing us with the court name, because we know who it is. And
right, exactly.
We know who it is, and in the episode descriptions, they'll write Court of Owls, but they're not saying it on the show yet, so you know it's coming. You know it's good. I'm waiting for them to say owls. I'm just waiting for it, man.
Ooh.
Yes. So, again, they're building the name drop of the Court of Owls. It's going to be a big thing. Anyway, so let's see. So then, the main reason Catherine has summoned Bruce here is to respond to the threat of revealing who the Court of Owls is, and basically Bruce reveals that it's revealed that it was a bluff, and you and I were speculating this, by the way. So here's the thing: we're met in the middle of this. Is that Bruce had lead? I like that they kind of met us in the middle. I like that it wasn't just like, because it would have taken a little out of Bruce's 6-month trip if he knew absolutely nothing and just pulled like a purely Galavan bluff on him, which still would have been impressive, but still, 6 months for that, really? But no. I like that we kind of get met in the middle here, is where he says it's revealed that it was a bluff to confirm the leads that he had. He had leads that everything was tied together to something, and this proved the existence of the something, that a secret group existed. And basically, he would put them into a corner where they'd have to act, and Bruce would have a little meeting with them like this. So again, everything's going Bruce's way, which we find absolutely later on.
You know what Bruce, I call that, Dragon?
What?
Really good detective work. Yeah.
So Bruce, cleverly, fearing collateral damage, he brokers a deal with the court. I mean, real bold move for Bruce here.
I was shocked, honestly. I was like, "What? They're going in this direction? Oh my God! Okay. Let's see how this pans out."
Such a Walter White move for Bruce.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, "Oh my God! Wow, power play here."
Because he knew they were going to get to him somehow because he issued that threat. Again, it's such a Batman strategy. I'm loving it. So basically, he's offering a deal, and first off, he offered. And I love this too. Again, we'd spend all day talking about the ceremony, but we're just going to try to put on. So basically, Catherine saying, "So what is it you're offering?" I just love the way she starts. I love how they start negotiations. I know it sounds so mundane, so Better Call Saul of us, but seriously, it's so cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, so what is your offer? What are you offering to us for an arrangement? And he offers Wayne Enterprises, and I love this too. So they say, well, you cannot bargain with what we already possess or have access to. He says, I'm not finished, and I love this when he says, I'm not finished. This is a classic Batman. Made my hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Like, oh, it's Batman because he has contingencies. He has contingencies,
of course.
like Batman. So then he basically says, if I die, my shares in the information, my shares and files go to the federal government. And then again, the court still showing a strong face here. Catherine says, a difficulty, but something we can still weather the storm. What else do you have to offer? Again, you don't want to mess with the Court of Owls, really. You get that sense. You do not want to mess with these guys.
Yeah.
And then Bruce makes another thing, and Tiki, this got me super excited because again, it's playing to what we're hoping for this season. We're getting into the value of a name, kind of what the influence on Gotham is, and that's a bit really Gotham City-esque stuff being mentioned here. Where Bruce mentions he offers up the Wayne name. I'll cooperate with you. You have the Wayne name, which represents light and hope to Gotham. A distraction for basically it serves as a distraction for the Court of Owl's activities.
Of course, yeah.
And Catherine, she's very impressed by the young man. She says, "Oh, very impressed."
I love the dynamic. It's just kind of like she sees Bruce Wayne as kind of like the grandson she wish she had.
I know, it's so twisted.
Right.
That's the one we didn't have that in the book. We didn't have that with the Court of Owls. It's like a kind of a new spoke to the wheel of like, oh my god, the Court of Owls actually respects because to be fair, they respected Batman that they're going to hang his bones in the labyrinth, which was a really cool part of that. But so I mean, don't get me wrong, there was like a respect for Batman. Now have kind of a respect for Bruce Wayne, the Wayne name, and despite the fact that these guys are most likely responsible for the death of the Wayne. So I mean, it's like only like a 10% chance they're not by some technicality not responsible. We know these guys were orchestrated. The point is, she's very impressed with Bruce, but still, I love this. I don't want to just linger on. I'm sorry.
No.
She says. She's very impressed by the young man, but still has the upper hand. So she says, well, remember, that's still not sufficient enough, and implying that we're still going to go ahead with this deal, even though we don't have to. But just the show, it's almost like a show of mutual respect. But here's our condition, because we're exercising power over you. Here's the condition: you're going to have to meet for us, so we can. Like Walter White walked into a scene, he would have all the things figured out, and the person would buckle to his needs. And now this is the other way around. Court of Owls has all the cards, and now Bruce Wayne is buckling to their needs.
Now it's like Gus Fring just whipped out his box cutter.
Yeah. Well, maybe not as direct.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm breaking. I'm
thinking more like the whole "say my name" moment. That's what I'm.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so why don't I kill you in the desert? Take your methylamine, sort of thing. Anyway. So the other conditions. The other condition by the Court of Owls is very strategic, very logical. Is that Bruce must stop investigating the Court of Owls and his parents' murder.
Yeah, at this point, I've got to say, I'm just like, wow.
Yes, any violationist would avoid the agreement. Again, look at the really attaching kind of agreements and legalities, and I love this too. As that said, Tegan, I will say this: you got some really good, really great kind of directed moments in this because I like how we see the talent in the background. He's preparing the chloroform, so there's even more tension. You don't know what he's going to do with him after he knocks him out this time. If he says no, you don't know what's going to happen. So that as the talent prepares the chloroform, the unseen face in the background, I need an answer now. And again, it's always like, I'll give you a moment to think of it. You always see that on TV. Like, I'll give you the day to think about it or something. It's no,
sure.
Answer now. I love how it's subverting every cliche. I need your answer now. Bruce, after a moment of really stewing on it, he agrees. He has to. It's a logical choice because there's a threat of the other people you care about. And I'm happy to hear that, but you will never see me again. Goodbye, Bruce.
Oh yeah.
Really, really good moment. So, after that goodbye, Bruce, you start us off the next scene.
Yeah, well then the talent chloroforms Bruce, and I just have written down another great opening. Let's keep it up, guys. Let's keep it up with the good cold opens. We have 2-0. 2-0 with the good cold opens.
Very true. So Valerie shows up at Jim's door.
I gotta say, Dragon, I liked Valerie the first episode. She's maybe a little bit leaning on me this last episode. I don't know.
I'll get into my mixed thing later on. She has a moment later
Okay.
on really cues up my mixed argument thing.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we kind of agree that it's kind of veering into the mixed territory with this character.
Yeah, this. I don't know. I think that again, broad strokes, the character I think is still okay. I'm just saying what she does in this episode is the mixed stuff, and we'll get there. But
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
let me say this though. I want to point this out. In the BatmanUniverse.net is a website kind of about Batman news, and I love that someone else, much like us, two guys, kind of has pondered this thing. You and I have pondered for like 2 seasons now. Where's Gordon living?
Sure, right.
Because apparently Ben McKenzie and the guy kept questioning him every time he interviews, because the Batman universe doesn't, they have credentials, so they actually press guys. They actually get to ask questions during the press conferences and stuff. So like the Comic-Con thing, like they're in like a certain like media row interviews and stuff. So Ben McKenzie has always kind of asked the Gotham. He's always been kind of curious himself, like where's Gordon living? Gordon doesn't have an apartment set, Because again, in season 2, he was all over the place since he lost the giant kind of clock tower, the clock tower barber's apartment.
The clock tower was such a cool like fixture of season 1, like the visuals of season 1.
Yeah, and then in season 2, he's in Lee's place, and then he's in the GCP locker room. You have no idea if he's in Harvey's apartment. You don't know where he is.
Oh, God.
And I love that Ben McKenzie's kind of curious about that himself, and he likes that finally, going into the 3rd season, Gordon finally has an apartment. So I'm just like, let's acknowledge that, hey, we finally got an apartment with Jim Gordon. He walks in, and the place is a mess. It's reflective of the character this season. It's a mess with bottles with tons of bottles around. And basically, it's coursing with bottles of scotch and sadness, really. That's what the apartment's full of, scotch and sadness. Empty bottles and sadness. So Valerie, she offers to help Jim get the $1 million bounty. She also mocks the apartment and says, "Yo, by the way, when you get your $1 million, piece of advice: get a maid or do us all a favor and firebomb the place."
I really hope you don't bring women here.
So let me say this. I mean, this scene though, I do kind of like. I like that Valerie. She's I'm jumping ahead a little bit of my notes here. It says I like that she kind of represents. I'm saying she's going through Jim's character arc right now. Is that she's in a place where she is on the level of bounty hunter Jim Gordon, where she's in kind of like she's a reporter. It's a real cutthroat business, so she's kind of in the like Jim is. Well, he won't do exactly the morally upright thing this season beginning. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She's acclimated to that, but at the same time, we know from the first episode, she's got cops. She's got cops in her family. So the point is, like, she has the idealism that Jim had, but it's on the side. She manages it, so she's kind of she can bring the optimism anytime she wants to. She's choosing to kind of be on the bounty hunter reporter level with Gordon here. So I like that. That's why they're kind of on the same level, kind of character-wise at this point.
Yeah, last episode I kind of made the comparison to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and Dragon, I think this episode kind of reinforces that. And let me explain that just a little bit more. I think, I'm not talking about just strictly the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie movie. I'm talking about the basic idea where the Mr. and Mr. Smith dynamic is basically like two people who are kind of going for the same goal, and they definitely have a mutual attraction to each other, a mutual respect for each other, but at the same time, throughout the story, they're trying to one-up each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this episode. Jim's asking what's in it for her. It's just a story, and then Jim's questioning a very logical thing, and his detective senses are still on. Again, it's like Jim, what Valerie brings as kind of Jim's kind of underlying idealism and detective skills. She's slowly bringing him back.
So that's what I'm saying, man. I'm going to kind of stick to landing on my whole Mr. and Mrs. Smith thing. I think that's a good analogy for what we have here.
No, I mean, if you want to stick with that, it's your...
I'm sticking with it.
All right. So, anyway, Jim's logically questioning why do it alone. She's trying to make it sound noble, like, oh, I'm the bigger person. I'm the better, bigger person.
Right.
And a moment goes by, and I love this. We have kind of the wonderful Ben McKenzie Gordon smile. you have it like it says, I lost my source. And he says, you lost your source. He knew it.
Late faith. Clayface, a little bit of Clayface popping out. I don't know if you noticed that.
Again, I wonder what that would happen to him. I still
Look,
hope
I'm not saying it was actually Clayface. I'm just saying like Ben McKenzie kind of like emulated a little bit of this Clayface performance in that one.
He gets to play a lot of cocky Gordon this season. He gets to play
That's
a lot
what I'm
of
saying.
kind of
It's like with Gordon being kind of a slob, it's kind of like I'd say like Clayface is maybe like 15% of his performance. Like maybe like, you know, just a dash of Clayface mixed in there.
But it's also like Ben McKenzie's always had this thing of Gordon, even since season 1, where he's had like this is it pushed to kind of that Clayface level in this scene. But I'm saying you always have these moments of kind of I kind of like to call this kind of the sympathetic Gordon smile, like he's in over his head and gives a smile like, "Come on, help me out, would you?" That sort of thing. It's pretty funny. Like that moment from the first season when he's chained up and he's looking at Celine and says, "Oh, hey, you want me to cut you free?" And gives a smile like, "Yeah, cut me free."
Yeah, right.
Basically, that's the smile I'm talking. But anyway, so right here, it's pushed the whole like, aha, yeah, I knew it, and it's very. I love this vibe, even though he's a bounty hunter. I love that it's still a very kind of noir PI.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He agrees, and I love this again. It's like an unlikely alliance. I mean, it's kind of a. Unless they're both out for themselves, but they're lying themselves. Where it's there's like no handcuffing gag, so there is a lack of trust between the two. No handcuffing. And then I love this though. I love the ways it's played. Jim's Selena Kyle revelation, where he kind of you see him visually piece it together in his mind.
Yeah. It's just kind of like a great like non-vocal performance on Ben McKenzie's part. He's just like petty thief, street kid. I like her. She's got style. And Ben McKenzie's
he's piecing it together, and then he asks, "What's the name?" It's just you know who that is? Yeah, do you know where you can find her? Oh no, I don't know that, but I think I know someone who might be able to help find her. Now, initially, were you jumping to Bruce Wayne with that, or was it just me?
Yeah, I guess like I didn't really think about it.
I assumed he was going to Bruce Wayne.
That's true. I didn't really think about that.
Saying because he knows that Bruce and Selena are tight.
Honestly, just like this Barbara scene, man. Like this Barbara scene was tough on me, so I wasn't even thinking about like logic or sense when we get to this Barbara scene. This Barbara scene kind of broke me a little bit.
All right, so let's just go in chronology. And the Valerie stuff will table for a moment that kind of comes after this scene. That's why
sure.
I guess this is my first moment of mixed stuff here. So Yeah. Again, barring the one line, the one line is terrible. But aside from that, the whole scene is mixed.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so there are good elements to this scene.
Everyone knows it's Barbara.
Please stop bringing that back. It only works for one day, all right?
I know.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
It's a very noirish scene where you can picture it's kind of an old detective movie. Jim goes to the club owner in a very kind of getting back to kind of our Fish Mooney club territory,
Yeah, but it's Babs.
I know. I'm saying it's not the same thing. I'm just as a point of comparison, like the nightclub. Point is very kind of noirish.
Have we really reached this point, Dragon? Have we really reached this point where I am just completely fed up with Babs and you're defending her?
I am not defending her.
This is priceless. This saga of Babs is like the best thing we have going on this podcast.
I'm cautiously tolerant. I am cautiously tolerant.
Cautiously indifferent. Okay.
No, I'm cautiously tolerant. I'm tolerating her. Okay. Caution.
Okay.
Anyway, so what I do like about here's the mixed bag. I'm going to highlight some of the good stuff in this scene. I do like the noirish atmosphere. I like kind of Jim going to a nightclub. Again, it feels very old school, and I do like that.
No,
again,
fair enough.
It's fitting with what we established with Jim and Valerie already, so that's all kind of jiving well. And he was going to Babs, and on paper, the idea of go to kind of if you looked at it through a noir point of view, he's going to an old flame who has a bit of a grudge with him, and that it's a source of information. Again, on paper, makes sense, logical sense. That he would, if he didn't go to Bruce Wayne, again, he might be one. I think the reason behind he's keeping his distance from Bruce Wayne. He doesn't even know if Bruce Wayne's back in town yet. So
that's what I kind of figure too. Yeah,
I'm just saying that's my go-to kind of he knows that Bruce Wayne knows Selena Kyle anyway. But point is, they make pleasantries and stuff, and again, making pleasantries, there's that.
Dragon, I'm actually kind of going to agree with you with the noir element of the scene up until the point where...
Up until the ending, all right?
No. Hold on. Not even the ending. Up until the point where Barbara asks about Valerie being Jim's new girlfriend.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's just
Okay. You're kind of dancing around the bush. You're kind of just dancing around the elephant in the room, I think.
Point is, they make some pleasantries, and it seems like we're
pleasant, yeah.
And importantly, it seems like they are kind of continuing the path that we left off.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to talk about this seriously, man. Anyway, so again, we're kind of the point. We're kind of the point with them from last season where they kind of have reached an acceptance. Like, Jim and Barbara aren't exactly on like buddy terms, but they kind of like she's not super obsessed with Jim Gordon anymore. However, we do see coming back with it, she still does have. She's still not crazy about him, though. She likes to get under his skin. I get the sense that's kind of the dynamic they're sharing now based on this scene. So
it's a loop, Dragon. It's a loop.
Anyways, then she asks about Lee, and they're not together anymore. And then we get to Babs' glee. They're not together anymore. And now here, Valerie points out instantly she's walked into something. I've walked into something and point out, yes, you have. And this is one of my issues with Valerie. We'll get to after the scene. Is that
okay?
Why is she in this scene primarily? But he says, no, we're not. We're not together. Bit that whole thing. Oh, are you together? No. Which it's starting to get uncomfortable. Brokering this through Babs, and I hate the fact that Valerie likes Babs.
Yeah, no, I knew you would. I knew you would.
But again, I think she primarily is saying that because she wants to get under Jim's skin. Because I don't think she likes her. I just think she's just saying.
Yeah.
I like that she's not until that last line. Barbara isn't like super stupidly obsessed with Gordon.
I don't know, but that last line, man. Yeah, I think you're really like forgiving a lot of the weight and batshit craziness that last line delivers.
I mean, I do like that they take shots at each other, and then she's saying, "Oh yeah," Valerie say, "Hey, wait, weren't you?" I hate that callback, by the way, because Valerie, don't bring that up. The whole bring. Oh, wait, you kidnapped him and Lee. I remember you kidnapped him. Right, weren't you in Arkham? Right. Oh, I was released.
I remember it was like the worst episode of the whole series. That was terrible.
Yeah, come on, Valerie. We're trying to heal, man. But again, I do like they're taking shots at you, and Gordon's not just taking a backseat to Babs' craziness entirely. Where he points, after Valerie points out she was in Arkham, illegally saying, "Yeah, signed by Hugo Strange." Just love the attitude behind it. Oh, yeah, signed by an even crazier guy. I do like that. That's a good line. I do like that.
Yeah.
And then here's the negativity I'm going to feed you.
Yeah. Okay.
I really hated the kiss. Kiss deal.
Yep. As soon as that came on, I was like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing, Gotham?
I would have thrown something in my TV if he actually went for it. And again, Valerie's saying do it, and it's because she's the desperate reporter. I was like, come on,
man.
Don't. Thank smartly, he doesn't take.
Thank God. I mean, let's just give the writers a round of applause for that, at least.
And then again, to be fair, then Barbara's just doing like she still gives the information. You just wanted to get. Oh, you're no fun. Just wants to get under his skin. So I kind of, again, I'm cautiously tolerating Barbara at this point. Just like she's just trying to get under his.
Okay.
Again, she's like that. They wouldn't get along, but she's still not obsessed with him until that last line, and we get this. I do love the name drop.
I have it all written down. I want to do a monologue. All right.
You will in a moment. Let me say this. I love the mentioning of Kane Sam, little Bob Kane reference.
I did notice that, yeah.
Yeah, go on. So what happens next?
Oh, God.
As they're leaving.
Jim, I had a dream about you the other night.
Oh, God.
You were in this horrible car accident. You lost both your legs. And I had to push you around in a giant baby carriage.
Oh, Lord. God.
And I think that's about it. Like, Gordon pretty much cuts it off at that point. But Dragon, consciously tolerant.
Except for that part.
Okay, fair enough.
So just Jim's put off by like anyone would be in their right mind.
What? I just have written down, like, that might be the single worst Barbara moment in the history of the show.
Just imagine my reaction to this initially. Like I'm like on the edge of my seat. Like, come on, don't be too bad. The kiss thing's stupid. Okay, believing again. There's enough to just tolerate her, which again so far has been tolerable. And then honestly, I think this is the first kind of big one where you just like completely can't stand Barbara. Like the club was
pushing Jim around in a baby carriage. Just the fact that is swimming around in her psychotic skull.
That ain't natural. That ain't right.
Oh man!
I'm
not laughing because I'm amused. I'm laughing out of just sheer just what are you doing, writers? Just what are you thinking?
Just to quote Bruce Wayne, that's not
right.
That's not right.
That's not fair.
Yeah. Anyway, so they leave, and then I'm going to get into my other kind of. So after they leave that weird ending to a scene, Valerie double crosses Jim for handcuff revenge. Basically for handcuffing him. She takes the lead. Kane's Fish is held up in the bank around Kane Sound, and she tip off the GCPD and get the story without Gordon. As revenge for the handcuff thing. Here's my other mixed bag. It's kind of bad that it's two mixed things right back to back, which does bother me. But this is just the opportunity to talk about it. So let me mention this. So let's talk about Valerie for a moment.
Okay.
Here's the big picture. I think it's still working with what I like about Valerie's big pictures. In the whole course series, what I still hope for is that it's working with the character. She's someone to reflect this Jim Gordon that we're getting this season, but also has kind of the idealism he will need to heal. Again, she definitely has the morals built into her DNA growing up with cops in the family. And again, this is exactly what Jim Gordon needs. Well, she's at a place where she's basically managing what Gordon's gone through, and she can put it to the side. Jim's not there yet. Jim is just in what she's presenting right now. He needs to be reminded of the idealism, which she absolutely can do. That big picture still works. All of this, again, it's like taking a little. Basically, this is all stuff on the road to doing that. Again, I'm in the mixed category where, again, it makes sense that, they would kind of take shots at each other. Again, you're right. It's kind of in that Mr. and Mrs. Smith category. They're kind of it's a one-upsmanship. So, again, all of that, not bad. But then small picture, though, it's really petty, and I still keep questioning why she throws herself into these dangerous situations. Because, remember, the whole handcuff thing was done for her protection.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. It's like I want to like this character. I do think that she's a good companion for Jim. I think writing wise, it makes sense that they be together, and I think I'd like to think that the writers are playing kind of the long game with her when it's not really necessary.
Yeah, but you see what I mean, though. Again, it's so mixed, right? Because again, it's right in this episode, she's just the immediate thing she's doing. It seems real petty and real not wise. Again, why would you already have a deal with someone? Why do all the hard work and put yourself in the line of danger?
Not to mention, I feel like they really go out of their way to show how exasperating it is that she's following Gordon all over the city.
Yeah, there's no reason she should be in that nightclub with him. He should just say, "Okay, there's dangerous characters. Just wait on the outside. Wait by the car. I'll come back." I understand. She doesn't even have to wait inside the car. She's standing outside the car. So just don't go in there with them. Then why would Gordon in his right mind let her in with Barbara?
So I
don't get it. Because one, he knows that Barbara has issues with girlfriends from the past. Or women around him, period. That's what I mean. Women around him. So I just, again, immediately in the moment, I'm not quite understanding Valerie's mindset, but in big picture, it is still feeding into the dynamic I do like. So again, I'm mixed on it.
All right.
So that's two moments so far. Moving on. So Ivy, we see Ivy all growing up, and Tiki, I did like. I actually wasn't put off by the Ivy stuff here. All
right. I mean, if it took getting through the wonky as hell shit in episode 1,
I mean, that was bad. But seriously, I'll defend the Ivy.
I'm gonna tell.
Oh God, no.
All right.
No, but seriously,
let's break it down because I do think it is kind of a good representation of Poison Ivy. So.
Yeah, I do. There is a lot of stuff I do like in the Ivy story here. So, one, let's call her Ivy Old Grown Up for right now. Ivy Old Grown Up washes ashore outside of. Okay, but seriously though, Ivy Old Grown Up, she washes ashore outside of Gotham, and here's what I really love about this thing. It's identical. It's identical to. It's very much like Penguin did in the first episode of Gotham.
Yes.
He washes up outside of Gotham. Pretty much, if it's not the same location, they're going for the same. Yeah, they're going for a reminder there on some level. And seriously, with the character arc for Ivy, let's redefine Poison. We have a crappy version of Poison Ivy. Let's redefine her as something a little more interesting. And they succeed in that, in my opinion. From the get go, here, it's like, okay, it's kind of this. She goes through kind of the albatross. What is it, albatross? I think it's another bird reference. It's kind of funny with the penguin, if that's the case. Anyway, so. The albatross, kind of like this, kind of the journey home, kind of the odyssey Penguin went through. is that she washes up outside of Gotham. She's going to be journeying back, and she's going to redefine herself, and literally redefine herself as an actual attempt at a poison ivy. And make her journey back. And she's found by this guy called Nick. She's found by Nick, the truck driver.
Okay.
And you ask, what's your name? Ivy. And again, she's older, different actress, and at least she's bringing something to the table. And again, the direction with Ivy...
I like her reaction when she looks at the reflection in the rearview mirror of the truck.
So again, right off the bat, we're kind of presenting, what I've been hoping for this season, the idea of what Gotham does. Gotham threw her out because you're not exactly... in some way, it's like you're not fulfilling your potential, throws her out, and hopefully she's going to come back stronger so she can make it in the city in a way.
Can we brainstorm how we can do this to Harvey Dent?
Well, not right now. But
I know, not right now, but eventually.
I don't mean we have to wash him ashore. We do have to do something like Gotham pushes him out in some way, and then he comes back as the actual Harvey Dent. Goes on a journey.
Right.
No, but seriously, how do you like that as an idea, though? It's kind of that Snyderian idea of kind of hoping for this show.
Well, no, Dragon, I definitely agree with you that it very much echoed the episode 1 thing.
Yeah.
To an extent where I knew this guy was going to die. Like, as soon as he showed up, I was like, oh dear, he's going to die in some plant-related way. Like, maybe over a veggie burger, who knows, maybe over some type of sandwich with... I don't know.
I don't think that's. I think sandwiches are penguins' motif. I don't think it means every character gets excommunicated from the city.
Fair enough.
No, but yeah, and again, just to mention one last thing, because you don't have to talk about it going forward. I don't think is that the original Ivy 1.0, whatever you want to call her, Little Ivy Pepper. Sure. Again, the stuff they were doing in season 2 with her with Selena. Again, the performance wasn't nothing to sing home about. But again, the idea of she's cultivating the plant drugs that dealers are using. Again, she's kind of using the plant expertise.
Yeah, that's true. Like the brief little glimpses we got of her weren't bad. It was some good. It was some good ideas.
Yeah, again, it wasn't a bad direction. We just need more with her, and hopefully more for the performance to grow, which did not happen, and that just got worse in this season. So again, we have a new actress. Yeah, this actress really doesn't have a lot to do this episode, but I think it gives hope later on what we see with her. Okay, she might actually bring something to the table. So moving on from the next scene. Bullock's leading the strike force, tells Valerie on the outside again, Valerie, why are you there, man? Tells Valerie to...
I like how someone's pointing it out, at least. I mean, come on.
Bullock's telling her, if you want that, you'll get your story from Mooney after we capture her, that sort of thing, yada. Bullock's leading the strike force and the GCPD in there to capture, take down the monsters, again, just kind of get rid of Fish Mooney, get her off the streets because there's a bounty on her head, which is not good for business.
Again, another example of Bullock playing Chief. I think that's definite foreshadowing. He's definitely going to take over that role, I think. Yeah,
Bullock's very responsibly. He's briefing the cops. He's telling them to be careful and on the lookout for Ethel Peabody.
Oh, yeah.
So they find Mooney and company, find Mooney and her monstrous band, and this evolves into a fight. And we have, now, here are the few characters that we do have in here. We have Electric Devendra.
Okay.
Electric Devendra, the lady with the electricity.
Sure. And
we have Sid. Sid's the kid who's pretty much a ripoff of Quicksilver.
My name for him is Jack Frost.
Wait. Oh, come on. White hair is not in this. Danny Phantom has white hair.
Look, it's just the nickname I gave him in my notes, okay?
They're just saying he's literally Sid, but otherwise, he's killer. He's
Jack Frost.
he's literally
Jack Frost.
Don't you find it easier just he's a Quicksilver ripoff? Do you not just see that as
okay, yes, fine. Quicksilver ripoff. Fine.
He's got super speed and he's got white hair. That's Quicksilver, all right?
All right, gotcha.
Anyway, but I'm going by his actual name, Sid. Anyway, also we have a proto Killer Croc who is not killed this time.
Yeah, and we still don't really get that good of a look at him.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll see going forward if they still. I hope they don't take another easy act because again, the IMDb thing, he still haven't called him Killer Croc by photos and stuff that he is supposed to be our Killer Croc, the one here.
Sure.
Point is, a lot of these guys are captured, so it's implied that the majority of them are still alive. So, Point is, Sebring, one of the cops, by another kind of unnamed monster, gets his hands burned really bad. Someone get Sebring some medical, and the fight involves Bullock searching for Fish Mooney. Meanwhile, Penguin, in a J. Jonah Jameson fashion, is denouncing the GCPD. Yes. their failure to a press conference. He's rallying, and this again, Tiki is feeding to what I'm loving about the show, or I'm hoping the show goes, that he's rallying Gotham citizens, to kill the monsters. He's saying, children of Gotham. He's really
I think this was the absolute best stuff of the episode for me.
Oh yeah. Again, I really hope that Penguin's going to go big picture to kind of making the show about Gotham. Because again, this episode, especially one of my favorite scenes later on, so let's not talk about it too much, is later on where it's going to definitely kind of hype up what Gotham did to the Penguin.
Oh, definitely.
So again, I'm really hoping they're going to tie those elements together, which really make it Penguin even more worthwhile than he already was. It's pointless. He's rallying people. And he's telling you, kill the monsters. Yeah. That sort of thing.
If anyone asks me about this show, just point blank, I tell them a lot of the stuff is mixed, but the show is definitely worth watching for the Penguin story arc alone. The Penguin story arc is very solid throughout the whole series.
Penguin's always been pretty solid. I can't really think of a time when it's not been.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so moving on. Alfred wakes Bruce up. He's on the couch, and we have a really sweet moment between these guys here.
Can we just acknowledge that I really love that this Alfred's Master B thing is kind of his trademark?
Okay.
Master B, wake up, Master B.
Yeah. So Bruce tells Alfred, gives him a really comforting hug, which is a really nice bit. They tells Alfred the plan worked, and Alfred's questioning. So they agreed to it just like that. He says, at the cost of stopping the investigation, just to paraphrase. We get a really sweet moment. I think this moment really is like the Alfred Bruce moments I live for right here. It's just this really sweet moment of Bruce expressing very desperately to Alfred. It's like, he had to agree, stop investigating with, it was the only way to, Alfred was the only way. And again, upon realizing this, Alfred, I love just the realization on Sean Pertwee where he kind of realizes, you weren't just doing it for yourself, were you? Just basically realizing, oh my God, this kid, he promised to stop looking into who murdered his parents for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Alfred raises the question. I love this too. This is a great moment for Alfred Tiki, where it's an Alfred who, in that moment, you have like a thing where Alfred kind of gets everything he wants. Like, well, we don't have to investigate anymore. We kind of hit a dead end. But at the same time, Alfred's still supporting Bruce here, where he's saying, he's kind of raising that whole well, you could stop here, but then again, there's a loophole where he says, how do you know? So you're going to keep your word? He says, yeah. He says, how do you know they're going to keep theirs?
Oh, Alfred. Yeah.
It's kind of a thing where Alfred would love it if that was kind of the end of things. At the same time, though, he knows, well, if that day does come, we're going to be right back where we are. I'm going to be there for you. Really sweet moment. Really nice Alfred Bruce.
I think Dragon, I've got to say, I really think Alfred, outside of the Penguin, is surprisingly, he's come in as a dark horse and surprisingly had one of the best character arcs between season 2 and now what we're getting in season 3. I think they're really doing some good stuff with him.
So long as he doesn't punch any children, I think we'll be fine.
But you know what? I think the punching the children in the face was kind of like a redemption story waiting to happen, and I think it was a long and endearing and arduous redemption story that ultimately got us the Alfred we get today. So,
let's see. Next scene, we get some Alvarez exposition.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Jim walks in, he's asking where's Bullock, and basically Alvarez exposits, we nabbed 5 monsters, and expositing, hey, we captured 5 monsters, which means most likely Firefly and Killer Croc are alive.
Right.
And still no sign of Bullock. He hasn't come back yet. Meanwhile, Valerie is waiting, I presume, at Bullock's desk. Valerie wants to...
excuse me, sorry.
Valerie wants to call it even, buy him a drink because she feels like, okay, well, the job's done, so, you lost out on $1 million, I'll buy you a drink. Then this is a great moment, again, it's kind of cocky Gordon moment here, where he sees Lucius giving him a signal, hey, Jim, meet me.
Let's just give it up to Lucius. Again, he's like a small, supporting character through these first 2 episodes, but seriously, just really packing a punch comedically when he's there.
I love Lucius at the JCP. It's so fun. It's so great. So, Lucius signaling Gordon. I like I'm reaching for this, but just indulge my fandom here. So,
okay.
The idea is someone summoning Gordon for a secret meeting. It's like a little bit of, pre-Batman. Hey, secret meeting.
Oh, man. All right.
Just don't clip my wings, all right?
I'll indulge your fancy, Dragon. I'll indulge your
I know
fancy.
there's not a lot there.
Cute. That is very cute.
Just saying. Anyway, so very you get the cocky Jim Gordon moment where he just kind of says, "It's over when I get fish and you can read about it." Ha ha ha. It goes off. They're in the Emmys.
Kind of the Mr. and Mrs. Smith thing. They're always trying to one up each other.
Yep. Anyway, so then Lucius is sharing in the Emmys room, I suppose. Lucius is sharing the Peabody's corpse. He literally shares Peabody's corpse. Veils it. Ooh. Basically shares that this is Peabody is finding with Peabody's corpse. He's been super aged, and this realization is that Fish is going after the other. Well, Fish didn't get anything from this doctor. She's still at it. She hasn't become less sick or anything. Fish is going after the other doctor who can fix her logically. That'd be her next step. And who's the other doctor that can fix her? Hugo Strange. Where's Hugo Strange? In custody, which means put two and two together, we know where she's going. So Bullock, speaking of which, Bullock is approached by Electric, Devendra, and Sid to meet with Fish in a truck. Leaves his badge behind as a clue, which I have that badge, by the way.
Getting very smart, kind of like on-the-fly detective work on Bullock's part.
Yeah, very cool. Leaving a breadcrumb trail.
Yep.
Then we have a Fish and Bullock scene, which I gotta tell you, I love that. I was just so surprised and like, of course, because remember, Bullock and Fish are old pals.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love how, Dragon, this show can definitely get wonky at times, but I think at the end of the day, they do a good job of kind of, having a continuous flow with the way these characters interact with each other and having it be consistent from season to season.
Oh, and let me say this. I meant to say this in the beginning with the whole kind of thesis statement thoughts thing. I think I love that this episode feels a lot like it's pulling a lot from season one, especially with the Fish Mooney stuff. So the Fish Mooney stuff was back to being strong for me in this episode.
I gotta say, the only thing I'm still not on board for with the Fish Mooney stuff is the mind control, command thing. Just
well, remember, that was it was they only did that once in this episode.
Yeah, they only did it once, but like I said, it's still something I'm just not okay with.
Really, I have an idea that might fix that, but we'll get to that in speculation.
Okay.
Anyway, so the point is, we have a little reunion between Fish and Bullock. It's a pleasant encounter. So they're really making pleasant. Hey, Fish, how's it going? That sort of thing.
Right.
And Fish, she needs to find Hugo Strange, and Bullock says, "Well, I don't know where he is," which leads to kind of a kiss control, which makes me think we might be getting some Poison Ivy foreshadowing.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's definitely what I was thinking as well, for sure.
So I'm saying we might get that might be a way of kind of taking Fish's power.
And again, I hate to say this, but Babs with the kiss as well. Maybe.
Okay, let's not.
I'm sorry. It's just
My point is just controlling Bullock through kiss. Because remember, anyway. So remember with the kiss thing. It's also because they have that familiarity. Kind of Fish does also take a liking to Bullock. So it's a twofold thing. Old friend, and
of course,
she could have just touched him, a little bit of familiarity. Anyway, so Bullock now can find Hugo Strange because he knows exactly where he is. We're going to find out how in a moment. Meanwhile, Nick. Now this, I was really curious, but Dan, let me get your take on this. So I was hoping that Nick had noble intentions with Ivy, and so far there's no evidence suggesting that he did not. So what do you think?
Yeah, I just think it kind of speaks to the psychotic nature of this new Ivy, where essentially this guy was just an innocent guy who just wanted to help her. And he got killed simply because he had dead plants in the house.
Yeah, because I was so worried in the episode, they're going to go the conventional direction of he's a guy who finds a nice-looking girl and he tries to do stuff and then she kills him and they're good for that.
Yeah, I honestly, I was kind of worried about that, Dragon. I was kind of worried they'd take that route, but I think they kind of subverted it this episode, which honestly makes for a pretty interesting and, at least kind of out of the norm introduction to this new Ivy. Yeah,
and again, honestly, I think it's very close to what I like about Poison Ivy. So, I think she's well represented in this episode, for me at least. Anyway, so, she observes the plants, and she's asking for water, and drinks some of it herself, gives the rest of it to a plant. It's a very Poison Ivy thing.
That was great, yeah.
Here's what I love about the take on Poison Ivy, because my favorite take on Poison Ivy is the early animated series take, not the New Adventures take, which is pretty much, the New Adventures take is the comics take. I love the animated series, and what they did is she was just a regular person, but she was plant obsessed. She used pheromones and used plant themed gadgets and toxins, but they weren't coming from her naturally. It was just the idea was so creepy that she represented the obsession Batman had, or the kind of the devotion to protect everything. Instead of people.
Yeah.
Instead of Batman going out of his way to save everyone, it was to save plants, and that was Ivy's thing. Is that she's plant obsessed, and it's very in line with the pre-powered kind of animated series.
Also, you can kind of get some, some commentary, some social commentary going on with the, with the save the Earth movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I love that if you're going to start with Poison Ivy, you got to start her off in kind of the human camp before you do like the whole. Then she becomes kind of the super plant lady thing.
No, I totally agree.
So I don't know how long we're going to have like kind of a powerless Poison
I hope
Ivy.
we don't get the super plant Poison Ivy thing until at least season 4. I hope we get a good season of just developing her as a person who's just obsessed with plants.
Because right now we don't even know if she's excreting pheromones, which is a somewhat
exactly,
I could accept that. So I mean, I could accept kind of excreting pheromones. There's kind of questioning where it would come from, because remember Marv does thing, you're just aged her. It's really her only thing she has now.
Right.
But yeah, she was in the sewer too, so you don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so the guy Nick mentions that he has his ex-wife's clothing here, so she can borrow whatever she needs. She can take whatever she needs from that. Goes get her some more water. Let's see. Assumes someone's looking for a beautiful girl, and then that's a line that kind of first made me thought, oh, is it going in this direction? But again, it seems like it wasn't, just like an observation. And importantly, the observation is it's kind of a neat thing. With she used to be a kid, now she's a little older, and she's now kind of the thing Poison Ivy is about. She's attractive, and she attracts men like bait, with the pheromones and stuff. So it's kind of a new thing for Ivy. She's being looked at not as a kid, but as a woman.
You know what, Dragon? I gotta say, I think what you just pointed out there is kind of making the best out of a very bad, very wonky writing situation that they got themselves into.
Yeah. Anyways, eventually, the cops killed my father, mom left, and now she's different. So, yeah, that's pretty much summing up where Ivy's at right now. All those things we saw transpire in the first season.
Right.
So then our guy, Nick, gets rid of the dead plants, which infuriates Ivy. And again, to use by the numbers, what I like about Poison Ivy, she's infuriated by getting rid of dead plants.
Like we said, it kind of brings out the psychotic nature of the character right away, which is something we never even got a glimpse of with little Ivy Pepper.
Because all she had was the eye twitch. Remember the eye twitch when we got that stupid thing?
Oh God, a little bit, yeah.
Remember she met Bruce Wayne, and she just looked deranged, like she said, like a deranged eye twitch, and then she's kind of the weird girl in the room. Like Selena Kyle's weird plant-loving friend. Okay, anyway, let's see. So now next scene we got Jim and Lucius. They're telling Barnes the findings, which they're worried about Bullock first and foremost. I do love that Jim's actions are motivated not by the reward but purely for Bullock.
Yeah, definitely.
And the badge clue definitely clinches it for Barnes. And again, I like that Barnes is at least hearing him out. He's not stupidly saying, "Oh no, I'm not believing him at all," because he's not going to do the whole thing. I mean, there's like
I do like that he is kind of frustrated when
you're not even supposed to be here.
And he is kind of frustrated with the badge. He's just like, damn, all right, we have to get on it. I'm frustrated about it, and I'm not happy about it, but it's Bullock, so let's call some men up.
Yep, and Barnes, Barnes can't refuse the Hugo Strange lead they're presenting to him. Jim knows that Barnes knows where Hugo Strange is because they drive him somewhere.
Right.
And only he and Bullock knew that. So again, like that Jim was putting the pieces together. Again, the reluctant detective coming out this season. Hugo Strange is being held. We learned from Barnes that Hugo Strange is being held in an old mansion outside of Gotham. So again, we're outside of Gotham, kind of the place where a lot of things can happen for our villains.
Yeah, you're right. I really do like. Do you think maybe that is kind of the show's? Maybe since the beginning, they've been kind of planting that seed of the outskirts of Gotham being kind of a breeding ground for the villains.
This episode makes it seem that's the direction they're going. I love the idea of, again, Gotham rejects you initially and you come back. Think about it. It matches in line with a lot of the other stuff we've gotten of, Jim Gordon. Remember, stuff I was telling you during the speculation, the season 2 review, I guess, is that, Jim Gordon, the city tries to kick him out, tries to send him and Lee out of the city. He comes back and he makes his claim. He gets punished for coming back. So again, it welcomes the villains, but the heroes have to prove their claim. That's why the heroes have it tougher than the villains.
And I think that's a really cool example of working in the already established canon of this show into the Court of Owl's mythology.
Oh, yeah. Because think about it, again, Gotham is a place that it thrives on the corruption and everything. And that's why even the villains have it so easy, because of the actions most likely the Court of Owls have laid in from the past.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how that plays out. I'm just saying I love that idea if they're going for that. Let's see, continuing forward. So again, pretty much, Gordon's, you have to take us there. The heck I do. I'll take you there. Anyway, so again, Chickless is good in this episode, though. He was pretty solid.
I would say he's definitely kind of stepped up a little bit from episode 1, and I'm still not. I haven't jumped off the Barnes train at all. I'm still on board. I just, there's a little bit of. There's some moments where there's some bumps in the track.
Yeah, like head on a spike moments like that.
Oh God!
Gonna peel your flesh off and put it
I'm just like, calm down there, Barnes. Dragon, you know what? I just realized this. I think that threat just officially replaced the whole, the balloon man, like, tell us, kid, or I'm gonna beat it out of you.
Yeah, that's a far more extreme.
Yeah, but that threat for the longest time was the show's most unnecessary threat. And congratulations, Barnes. I think you just won a book. You just won the most unnecessary threat award. Congratulations. Yeah. All right, anyways, I'm sorry, Dragon.
Bullock arrives as a Trojan horse outside of Hugo Strange's holding mansion. I'm sorry, it's also mentioned by Lucius Fox. A very important detail I think is really cool is that Strange is being held in this mansion. He's being debriefed by the government so the government can learn his kind of scientific breakthroughs.
Right.
I thought it was a cool little detail, and Lucius Fox was intrigued by that. I just want to mention that. Because it makes all the sense in the world. I mean, Hugo Strange did find a way to bring people back from the dead. That is useful.
That would be something, like, if that happened in the real world, I think people would be all over that, yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so again, Bullock kind of arrives as a Trojan horse. He's attracting the guys. He has no badge, and again, I like that. He left his badge. Says,
I must have dropped it, fellas. Oh, my bad.
And he's not lying.
No.
And then he has the great little bit where he says, "Oh, well, that's strange. Oh, not the guy we're here to see."
that was great. That was great.
Yep. And then Sid kills the guards. And then I want to mention this though, starting at this moment going forward, the music and so far this season, the score has been great this season.
I would wager to say, yeah, it has been very consistent, for sure.
Yeah, Fish's theme has still been really good from the first episode. It comes back this episode's really cool. And then the ending theme, oh my, I'm blown away with the way the music the episode ended on. We'll get there. Anyway, sure, so Hugo Strange, we then reveal him. You want to take us to this moment because you love this character?
Oh, yeah, sure. So Hugo's cell is revealed, and it is very much kind of like in the Magneto from X2 vein, where it's the solid glass and he's got like the writing on it. And of course he's got like all kinds of formulas, and this is all stuff we saw from the trailer. I don't know, Dragon. I must say I'm very worried for Strange. I think this might be like one of the last times we see him, and I'm very sad about that.
Well, they say he's going to be limited, but I don't think it's just one episode. I think he'll be back.
Yeah, I think he might be back as a corpse, or maybe back for like one more death scene. I don't know. He's not in a good position right now.
I'm going to bet you, if he's going to get killed, it's going to be by the Court of Vows, but I'm really hoping they don't kill him.
I'm thinking, like, he's with Fish Mooney. I think Fish is going to kill him. That's my thing. I have a more immediate concern.
Well, I mean, we'll get there. I think he's safe from Fish Mooney. The Court of Vows is the real thing. We'll get there.
Okay. So, first of all, I love how they continue on the theme from season 2, where Strange is just mesmerized by Fish's progress. Like, you've come so far, my dear. You were my greatest creation.
Yeah, there's a brilliant idea that's played out with this scene, and I love more so the payoff of this moment, where Hugo Strange and Fish Mooney still have a great dynamic, and it's that Hugo Strange is like a proud father to Fish Mooney, as in her new monstrous state. And he's surprised that she's dying. He's very concerned. Again, like he has a dying child here. He's very like, what? And she demands that he fix her and build her an army so she can reclaim control of the city. Which again, we were worried for that was kind of like a weird world domination thing. But no, it's this episode again takes us back to season 1. Fish Moon. She wants to stake her claim. It seems like she's still trying to stake her claim to the city and everything, trying to get back to the way things were, but there's no way that can happen.
It kind of goes back to the Court of Owls thing of like fighting for the city being very much a character within the narrative.
Yeah, so at least I think they're starting to ground Fish Mooney again, which is a good...
Sure.
Well, basically the season 1 continuity that's brought up with Fish Mooney, I think was a really good step in the right direction. Mm-hmm. So then Hugo Strange tells Fish very genuinely, he can't fix her... he can't fix her as. Sorry, she says he can't fix her, and she says, well, you should rethink your answer as the monsters are dealing with the cops.
Yeah.
Barnes gets a call from Fish Mooney because basically the perimeter is surrounded by strike force and cops and everything, and gets a call from Bullock's phone. Says, "Bullock, Harvey, okay?" He says, "No, no, oh, it's not. Oh, he's fine. It's Fish Mooney." Anyway, so I love this one. She puts Bullock on the phone. Bullock's free to control at this point by now, and I love it. She puts Bullock on the phone and says, "Hey, Cap, how you doing? Sorry."
No, yeah, you're right. I love that. Like, I love that minor apology. It's like, Bullock, he knows he's kind of screwed up a little bit. He got himself kind of a little bit of situation. So
I love he economized the words so well. Just like, "Hey, Cap, how are you? Sorry." He didn't have many words, and he can't just like scream position or anything. He just, "Hey, Cap."
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so right off the bat, Fish shows Barnes who's boss because they didn't really get a chance to interact in last season. This is kind of the main interaction these two get. That shows Barnes who's boss with the fact. And again, I love just the logic behind this, but the fact you are dealing with a dying woman, which limits your negotiating position.
Yeah.
So while I'm holding Harvey, while she loves Harv, she will put a bullet in his head if needed.
Mm.
Which worries Bullock quite a deal. Of course. Bullock asked, you
had to come back like a bad penny.
I wonder if that's a callback to the Court of Owls because he had the lucky penny and now we have the bad penny.
Maybe.
Anyway, it's quite different because one penny is like stories tall. But
of course.
Anyway, let's see. So Barnes smartly setting up the perimeter, and he's he's avoiding going through the front door as Gordon's panicking. He says, "No, we're not going through the front door." It's I'm still going to save him. So Bullock's Barnes stands by his guys. It's
what I want to point out with this episode? I do like that much of the episode is just kind of a saving Bullock mission. It is very much it's not a bottle, but it is very self-contained. The story is it's not so much small stakes, but it's not very widespread. You know what I mean? It's very like you know what I mean?
The third act's all dimension.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry.
Let's see. So then the press arrived, and it's kind of like the press, not the press. Yeah, the press arrives. The press arrives, much to Barnes and everyone's dismay. Like, no, the press. And because of this press coverage, then it's televised, and the Penguin sees it from kind of a callback to season 2, just gets all the news coverage on the TV.
Yes.
Where Penguin sees the coverage on TV, he's just gleefully telling Butch, she's covered like a rat, Butch. Butch is then asking, again, Butch's one line of the episode really is asking, what are you going to do? How are you going to get to them? They're surrounded. And then this line to me, again, this is dazzling. This is what I'm hoping the series goes in. Again,
absolutely.
The GCPD, again, literally quite like the beginning of Court of Owls in a way. The GCPD is not Gotham, Butch. Gotham listens to me. Time to round up our friends. Such a great bit.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. That's absolutely the kind of direction I want to go. Like I said, Dragon, that's another example of, we have this Penguin. We've seen him through 2 very well told arcs within 2 seasons, and they're really taking that advantage. And we've seen beyond anything else, Penguin loves the city. So it's great that they kind of had the city interwoven into the Gotham narrative already. It very much fits the Court of Owls needs. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So let's see. So then we have this great bit. And I love, again, BD Wong. He's only in for this episode so far. My God, he's bringing it strong. He's coming back to this season fresh. He's refreshed. He's got his little runner's laps on. He's shaved out of the sweatsuit. He's put on kind of the white prison guard, put on the rose-colored glasses. Okay, strange me up.
Let's go.
Give me the beard. Glue on the beard for me, buddy.
I'm done with the white rose thing. Let's go. Let's do this.
I'm on break. I'm good. I'm back. I'm refreshed. I'm ready to go back. Anyway, so Hugo Strange, so BD Wong, he's acting the heck out of this, really. He tells Fish, again, in a very fatherly, loving way.
Yeah, definitely.
He would fix her if he could, but, he just can't. And I love Tiki. This scene is so powerful between the two of them because, again, I love that, she says, so what? Give up? He views her. He says, if I could fix you, I would. I view you as one of my own children. Says,
right.
What am I supposed to do? Give up? And then he says, you don't know what you are, do you? It's such a... Again, he makes everything so Shakespearean and so wonderful.
Exactly.
He tells her, again, like, it's the most in a way, to you, the best way to describe it is like he's telling his dying child that you're going to die, but remember what you represent. You're so much greater.
Man.
Your death usher in a new era. Essentially, it's like the most idealistic. He's comforting her. He's comforting her demise. She knows there's nothing he can do to prevent it. He tells her, you represent the beginning of a new generation, a new Eve.
Oh man, yeah.
And Fish. And Fish gives this great retort to him, though, where she has a good actor.
Can I do it?
Yeah, thanks to the Jada Pinkett Smith stuff,
right.
please.
So Fish grabs, after the Eve line, she grabs Hugo Strange. She's just like...
Well, remember, she doesn't touch him, though. It's like she threatens to touch him.
That's true. And she's just like, you listen to me. You are going to fix me, or I swear to God, I will make you pray for death.
Also, I like that before that she was going through the whole club story, like I ran a club. And
you're absolutely right, yeah.
Ooh,
and again, Dragon, I hate to kind of keep going back to this point, but the club is another good example of a location in Gotham that we very much had a stake in season 1 that may be coming back into play.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, for all we know, Fish could maybe try to take over the club from Babs. Who knows?
Sure.
I would root for it in that case, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, really great thing. You just squeezed them again. Like it's not so much like, oh, I'm going to touch you. It's more like if I'm not going to touch you, I'm going to strangle you to death, sort of thing. My bare hands and my teeth. So again, she's using a lot for bare.
I still want to see that, just for the record. That
to be fair,
woman's on the
she
show.
She has used her bare hands a lot, though. She hasn't used her teeth.
You know what? I use the teeth. The teeth, Dragon. The teeth are the most important part of that equation.
Yeah, we'll see. So again, I love the desperation in that performance, by the way. Really strong performance from Jada Pinkett Smith this episode. Sure. Honestly, I think it's her best performance in the series this episode.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, definitely with and it very much kind of is in the same league with the Ivy Pepper stuff, where she's kind of exploring a newfound side of herself. A side of herself that she never thought she'd explore.
Oh yeah. So let's see. So after kind of the great kind of desperate threat of Fish Mooney, then a mob. The mob led by the Penguin arrives. So I guess he busts them all out there because it's on the outskirts of Gotham. I don't imagine they all carpooled or anything. Yeah. So the mob led by the Penguin arrives. A blockade is formed. The Barnes of Chagrin. Penguin vows Fish Mooney dies tonight.
It's so cool. I love how Penguin has just kind of risen to power, like he is the respected figure in Gotham.
Tiki, a lot of my favorite stuff is in the third act of this episode.
Definitely.
So then I love that Valerie's bearing witness to all this for the kind of the payoff here. So she's bearing witness to all this. Mm-hmm. Jim uses the diversion to sneak into the mansion with the mob showing up. He's greeted by monsters who logically they're upset with him because he's killed a lot of their friends.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And in some cases, killed them by a bus, so they're not happy. Fish stops Gordon's death here and just adds him to the kind of the hostages. And then we have this really nice moment showing Gordon Bullock's friendship where he's saying, let me guess, you were sent in here by your police buddy and so you can talk me into giving up. Jim says, no, I'm just here to save Bullock. And
that's great.
You sure you want this broken down old thing? I just love Bullock's kind of offense to this. Thanks. He says, well, now you're helping me instead of helping your friend. You're becoming a hostage. He says, oh, well, you killed me. Barnes will probably thank you.
Uh-huh.
It is also true. There's Bullock on the side giving the words of encouragement. Then Fish is making the very real threat. Give me one reason not to have my friends kill you. And I love this. Here's the thing. My third mixed point is coming up soon.
Okay.
Not yet. Again, I love this idea. Jim kind of comes up with this plan on the fly, and it's a really good plan, except for one detail, which I'm mixed on. We'll get to. He says, "I can get you out of here." Here's the basic strikes up a deal for Bullock. I'll get you out of here. Mm-hmm. And Fish makes it clear. Well, I get him too. I get Hugo Strange. I just love. Wait a minute.
No, that was my favorite bit of acting from B.D. Wong in the episode. Just the. Wait a minute.
Not only did he get kind of the great Shakespearean quality, basically the B.D. Wong kind of acting supreme stuff we usually get. We also got some good B.D. Wong comedy too, which we didn't get a lot of in season 2. We got more. We had it in season 2 here and there. I'm saying now we just kind of have it all in one episode. We get the whole B.D. Wong package in one episode.
In a very fleeting kind of guest spot too. It's not like he's a major focal point of the episode.
Well, I mean, he's kind of the MacGuffin in a way. Like he's
Well,
the
he's
one
a
that
MacGuffin, but I'm saying like he doesn't have but maybe 5 minutes of screen time throughout the whole thing.
That's fair. Like, yeah, 5 minutes sounds about right.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so here's Jim's plan. I love that Jim's plan works on 3 levels. I love the cleverness of this. First and foremost goal is to save Bullock. It's absolutely what he wants. He can walk away happy just knowing they saved Bullock. 2, the second level is that he can have Fish Mooney killed, which is, as per the course, everyone be happy. Fish Mooney dead. Because again, you can basically they trick her into getting killed by the Penguin, and third and foremost, being her getting killed by the Penguin, that gives Jim Gordon $1 million. So
of course,
it works on 3 levels. But again, first and foremost, the unselfish thing of saving his friend.
Yeah, definitely.
So Jim calls the Penguin. Again, it's a really clever way this all worked out.
Here we go, Dragon. What we were kind of anticipating with season 3 with, Jim and Penguin kind of being best buds to a certain extent.
Yeah, but again, they're more reliant on each other. Again, whether it's
absolutely, I love it. I really love it. This show has done a great job of kind of mimicking to a certain extent, like the love-hate, like push-pull dynamic that Batman and Joker have with these 2 separate characters in Gordon and Penguin, and I think it absolutely works.
Yeah, and again, I also love it on some level. Again, it's kind of that surrogate Batman thing. Gordon has like a Batman-like character. He's having to help him out.
Totally.
Jim calls Penguin, and the Penguin's just pleasantly surprised. Oh, Jim, you're so full of surprise. Shut up. It's Jim right off the bat, just telling him to shut up. Listen, I have a proposition. If you want Penguin, he'll be in the back in 5 minutes. I just need you to do something for me. Here's the mixed up.
If you want fish, he'll be in the back in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Exactly. So after here's my problem. So Penguin he leads the charge, which clears the back for everyone. Sid and Nancy hold him off. Nancy's the one with the kind of mask going on, fights.
Oh, I get it. Sid and Nancy. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So Sid and Nancy hold off the crowds that are going to be the cops, and the crowds are going to be barging in. Meanwhile, Jim and Bullock, we have the no hard feelings gag from Fish Mooney says, and Harvey, no hard feelings. Screw you, Fish. Fair enough.
Screw you, Fish. I love how polite she is. She's like, all right, fair enough. I deserve that.
I love you guys straight desperate saying, Gordon, she's going to kill him.
And you know what, Dragon? That is the thing that has me worried for Strange. I'm worried that the next time we see him, his body is just going to be in a gutter somewhere.
Oh, here's the funny thing, though. I love that as he's being led away, he says, no, Gordon, please help me. He says, shut up, stranger. Something along those lines. I just love that at the end.
But seriously, though, wouldn't that be such an unceremonious way for him to go out if that is indeed hypothetically the way he goes out?
If they are going to kill him, they're going to kill him on screen. I'm just going to have him be killed off. Or he's going to be back. I hope they don't kill him. I'm telling you.
I'm worried. It wouldn't be such a big deal, except B.D. Wong is a prestige actor. I don't know if he wants to stick with the show another season. I'm worried, man.
Well, again, they kind of wrote him out. They doesn't necessarily have to be dead, but, again, we don't know if he got away from Fish or not.
Yeah, but they pulled him out of the place he was in specifically to have him be in a perilous situation with a woman who wants to kill him.
You'll remember, there's a chance you get out a runner.
All right. Well, anyways, we'll see what happens next episode with that.
Anyway, my point is, I love that they have this hilarious B.D. Wong delivery though when he's leaving. He says, "She's gonna kill me." It's I'm so pissed off at you, Gordon. She's gonna kill me.
Right.
From here's my last mixed thing about the episode here, and again, I really wish I didn't have problems with this. First few I had no issues with this. I was just wrapped up in how brilliant the plan was, but on rewatch, there was a big ethical dilemma here.
Oh boy.
So the crowd breaks through the doors. You can bear in mind the angry mob. So they kind of battle with the cops. They're trying to hold them off, and then they kind of break through. So they basically, in an angry mob fashion, kill all the monsters they can. The crowd breaks through the doors. Remember, Sid and Nancy, they're on, and they're shooting the crap out of these guys. So innocent people are dying.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So here's the thing. Even with this morally defeated Jim Gordon we do have this season, he's not exactly on the up and up in terms of morality. He's bringing people in for a bounty. He's doing things for money. Mm-hmm. This plan, it's still loss of innocent lives. It's going a little far for him. However, again, the devil's advocate in me is saying the reason I'm mixed on this is that initially I want to say it as much as I don't want to say it. It's kind of a downer. It's something that just really reads that's not Jim Gordon even in this. Again, we saw the whole Valerie Vale thing. He handcuffed her for her own protection. He still has a conscience on some level, and he's taking more risk, but he won't do anything that's going to absolutely kind of cost innocent lives. And the Peabody thing, he was sure he could stop.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't, but he was sure. Anyway, but the point is, I think the devil's advocate in me is saying, well, eventually they would have gotten through the barricade and they would have gotten killed on their own volition, though. So, I mean, you just kind of made the process expedient. What do you think, Tiki?
Oh man, that is an ethical dilemma, Dragon.
They would have done it anyway. They would have gotten through. They would have gotten killed by him anyway.
No, I agree. It's definitely like, and those people, oh man, and you know what? That's kind of a great thing that I like how we're already kind of breaking down these ethical dilemmas when it comes to this season, because
I think it's a step too far, but I mean, again, it's such a good plan otherwise, though. I really love the plan. He's using the penguin.
I get what you're saying, that it's a step too far. I get what you're saying, but like you said, there is the whole thing where there was nothing stopping that mob. I mean, that mob would have broken through regardless.
Yeah.
So.
That's the thing, and we do see him get to kill a lot of monsters. I mean, in the end, the mob still gets, they kill monsters, which is an achievement. These guys are hard to kill.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they get to kill doing that, the super speed. They get to kill Sid with the super speed, and they get to kill Nancy, who's pretty much kind of like Tabitha with a creepy voice.
Bye, Quicksilver ripoff. Bye.
Yep.
You won't be ripped. You won't be missed. You won't be missed.
Well, unless you get brought back as Solomon Grundy, we'll see.
God.
I don't think they're going to do that, because I think they're still going to see an actual Solomon Grundy. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Point is, the monsters are killed, however. So again, it kind of works out in the end. I don't know. I'm really just mixed on that one, though. But anyway, so those are my three mixed on the episode. The rest of this going forward, I think, is a lot of good stuff. So move forward. Penguin tells Marv again. Penguin. Then we have a great moment. Penguin has Fish at gunpoint. Fish and Strange at gunpoint tells Marv to get out of there. He's the one that can super rage people. He gets out of there. And then here's probably the best scene of the season so far. It's a really good scene. At the very least of this episode, it's the best scene of this episode. At the very least, it's he has Fish and Hugh Strange at gunpoint, and says, to be with old friends again.
Totally.
Then Fish brings up, so after I spared your life, you're going to shoot me and leave me dead in the woods like an animal. Pretty much, yes.
Pretty much.
Robin Lord Taylor's delivery on that is just perfect.
That is kind of like very consistent with Robin Lord Taylor's delivery in general on the show. It's very much kind of in the same realm. It's like, hello.
Now this I love the payoff of this scene so much, because again, they brought this up in the previous episode. The Penguin's wondering why Fish Mooney didn't kill him. We were wondering that at the end of last season. Why the heck did she not kill him? And again, Penguin's bringing up that that really stuck with him. So he wants to know before he kills her, why did you spare my life? Why didn't you kill me? And Fish gives it emotional. Like, again, if you really took it out of context, it kind of reads like kind of a Jungle Book, the whole "You Are Mine" speech. But again, it's really potent, though. The wolf scene from "You Are Mine." My point is, I don't want to take anything away from it. It's a really strong scene. Again, I think Jada Pinkett Smith's best scene in Gotham, person for me at least. She emotionally tells Penguin, why did you go? He says, because you're mine. You're my umbrella boy. And basically with parental pride she has parental pride in the creation of the Penguin. She got a lot. She kind of realized this through Hugo Strange in many ways.
In a twisted kind of way, she has become his own kind of Mrs. Cobblepoot.
And remember, T, we were speculating this in season 1. She was the surrogate mother figure.
Sure.
And that paid off. Think of it in a twisted way, Tiki. She's the surrogate mother in many bizarre ways. Jim Gordon's kind of the surrogate father.
Oh, God. Yeah, and no, Dragon, she absolutely does have that great line, if you don't mind me taking it. You're the terror of Gotham now. Everything I've done in my life, the best thing was turning Oswald Cobblepot into the Penguin. I couldn't destroy that.
Ask him. He knows.
Oh, man, seriously, just let's give it up. I mean, we can definitely be hit or miss when it comes to some of the Fish Mooney stuff, but Dragon, I absolutely agree. That's probably the best Fish Mooney moment in the whole series, and fantastic build to that moment from literally the pilot episode.
And yeah, I know, it is so poetic that, again, Tiki, I mean, believe me, this moment and everything going forward.
I mean, it's stuff like this that makes me kind of glad to stick with the show, and just makes me think like, well, they are kind of making it up on a season-by-season basis, probably. But at the same time, they are making it rewarding. They are kind of sewing in those threads that, go from season to season, those long-term arcs.
Yeah, and again, like the moment that follows that too, when she says, "Well, ask again." Strange, I like that Strange isn't without point in the scene. He's like, he's just saying, "Ask him." He's pointing to Hugo Strange. He knows what it is to bring. He knows what it's like bringing something into being.
Sure, sure.
And again, just the fact that she takes so much pride in the Penguin, that's why she hasn't killed him. I get a sense that's why going forward she wouldn't kill the Penguin unless she absolutely, was in a position where she had to between her life and his. But I mean, when it comes down to it, she doesn't want to.
Yeah, it's a great dynamic.
Penguin. It's her creation.
Because, like, pretty much throughout a good portion of her run on the show, she was very anti-Penguin. But I think maybe it took her coming back to really fully appreciate what Penguin's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's taken her change at the hands of Hugo Strange to realize that the whole,
sure.
I have become something else. I've transcended, I've become a beacon for something new and realizing kind of like a legacy. Yet you kind of can't, when you come back from the dead, you got to think about what your achievements have been in life, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she kind of realized coming back, as you said, Tiki, is that, Penguin, again, the way she just loved the turn phrase when she just says, the Ozmake is the greatest, it's probably the best thing I've done is turn Oswald Cobblepot into the Penguin. That sums it up so well.
Yes.
And again, it also feeds into like all the stuff we saw in season 2 with Penguin and his mother, that he lost his mother, and he's been, he's directionless and going through a lot of grief in season 2. And with that, again, he's kind of in a weird way found his mother back, and his surrogate mother in a way.
Mm-hmm.
The person that kind of made him into who he is, it was full, not just like kind of the innocent on the sidelines giving him a confidence boost. No, it was the person that actually shaped him into who he is in Gotham. Again, it's like, I mean, if you want to say it's like Gotham is kind of the surrogate father, and then Fish Mooney's the surrogate mother you could, but also Gordon does bear a lot of responsibility, so it's kind of in a weird space of he's friend slash father.
I definitely think Gordon kind of has a similar thing with Nigma that he does with the Penguin, but closer with the Penguin, like more intimate with the Penguin, like the older brother, younger brother dynamic.
Yeah, but again, it's either like friend, but again, he's also kind of surrogate father with Penguin because he did create it. He's the one that kind of brought him back as well.
That's true.
Because again, it's like anyway, moving on.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
But yeah, it's really interesting. Because initially, Fish Mooney wanted him dead, and then Gordon was the initial surrogate. He gave him a second chance. He gave him a chance. You just don't come back. I won't kill you. Now, here's the most interesting idea to you, that after that wonderful bit of acting, there's really with me, and this is where it all came together to you. So brilliant. This is why I'm really loving this episode. No matter how many gripes, no matter those 3 gripes I have with it, I can't say it's a bad episode because I love this payoff. Is that Penguin spares her life, telling her not to come back to Gotham, just like Jim Gordon.
Oh, God damn it! I'm not saying God damn it in a bad way. I'm saying God damn it, it's like you're absolutely right. That's brilliant.
I know. I mean, now Penguin is in the exact same position.
Oh, man. I love it.
Beautiful is that. I mean,
Folks, that's what I'm saying. In spite of all this show's batshit craziness, and this show definitely does have a handful of episodes that are borderline unwatchable to a certain extent, just the overall arcs, it is kind of like, it is exactly like, not necessarily exactly what I was wanting from the show Dragon, but just this broad spectrum stuff between Jim and Penguin especially it's delivering what I wanted out of stuff like that.
Oh yeah, so again, it's a wonderful moment. We also get like a nice little subtle kind of acknowledgement of this man. Again, it's a really nice, beautiful moment where Penguin spares her life. You see the emotion in Robin Taylor's face, but oh my God, he's so well acted. Mm-hmm. Where he kind of says, goodbye, Fish, and again, Fish has a moment where she doesn't know what's going to happen. It's, don't come back don't come back.
Sure.
They both run off, and we'll see. We'll speculate on that in a moment. But again, just like Jim Gordon. And he's left there alone with the Penguin theme going on. Again, the music's really well orchestrated in this episode. It's really well cued and everything. Again, just kind of that Penguin's. Again, I assume on some level he's considering, oh my God, I've spared my enemy's life. And again, just like Gordon the Pilot, I'm in the reversal of that situation that gave me all of my power. And then the bodies are taken out to fuel the fire. The bodies from inside the mansion, and Jim and Bull kind of witness this. And then we have this great glance between Penguin and Jim.
Yeah,
I love this glance because it's the look. This exchange look is that Jim is responsible for. On one level, you have Penguin. Maybe on one, he's just so prideful, and again, with the idea being presented
and he's
2 times,
celebrated by the crowd as well.
I know. Here's the twisted, beautiful thing, Tiki. Is that I'm finding so many. I'm sorry, I'm just getting caught up in a few levels. There's kind of
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Here's the thing. So. Again, we've not only, this is like the 3rd time we've had the same revelation, but it's a continuing theme of the episode. That's what I mean. It's think about it. Hugo Strange, the whole parental thing with Fish Mooney, and then you have Fish Mooney, the Penguin, and on this level you have again kind of Jim the Penguin again.
Yeah,
Because Penguin lost his
get what you're
father.
saying. Yeah.
Penguin lost his father in season 2, and in a weird way, he's
Of
kind of getting
course.
his father back in this moment of
Oh
like
man.
he's being celebrated by the people of Gotham. Says, hey, look, you cast me out to better myself. I'm back, and I'm being welcomed by everyone.
So it's great. It's great in such a
And
twisted
this,
way.
and on Gordon's side of it, you imagine on some level Gordon looking at it, because remember, he's not too happy he let Fish Mooney go, which, again, whether ethically he's kind of questioning that himself, I just let Fish Mooney get murdered by
Of
the
course.
Penguin. And here's the level that's got to be dawning on him with this exchange of look of like Penguin so prideful looking at Jim Gordon of like, yes, I'm successful, hooray. Of this moment of Jim Gordon's other side is that Jim is responsible for Penguin's power yet again.
Right.
See, it's not only him coming back and kind of becoming the Penguin of Gotham. It's like another time that the Penguin has not only he's killed Fish Mooney for a second time, he's being celebrated this time.
Yeah, a lot of layers to this, man.
Such a delicious layered sandwich for the Penguin.
I would say so far this season's kind of on track. You know what? Episode 1 might have been a little bumpy with the Ivy stuff and whatnot, but
And season 2 was brilliant. Episode 2 had brilliant ideas.
Yeah, but the more we talk about this episode, I think outside of the minor nitpicks, we have the awful Barbara dream line and everything like that. You know, outside of the minor stuff, I really do think you're right. It's like they really are kind of going all in. They're using what they have, and they're crafting a really good kind of narrative that I think is going to pay off.
Yeah, so far, I mean, this episode gave me a lot more reassurance for the season than I ever anticipated. It's like, my God, they're really delivering. The Penguin fish stuff was super strong.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Penguin's arc in this episode was just, it kind of reminded me of like, it almost feels like a season finale worthy arc for Penguin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, so then Ivy is moving on. So now Ivy is in a green dress, and then we see Nick dead, killed via the dead plant, so iron Knee bounds.
Next time, remember water.
Yeah.
What do you think with Ivy in the classic dress? I kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. I mean, it's showing potential. Again, she's doing kind of stuff I preferred Poison Ivy would do. You know, she's human. She's obsessed with plants. Someone that touches a plant wrong, she's going to kill him. That's Poison Ivy to me. So, I mean, so far so good. We'll see what they do with it. I'm giving them a chance. I'm going to give them a chance with Ivy. So, let's see. So, a relieved Alfred. Let's see. Alfred is relieved to be done investigating for a time, saying, "Well, I'm glad we took down that bulletin board." I think it's a fourth wall gag point because they remember their one set in the first season was pretty much the
right,
like
yeah.
The files and the bulletin board and everything. He's just kind of asking Bruce, "Well, what next? What are we doing next?" And so I'm sure you have some suggestions. Again, this interplay is so fun. It's like we get a glimpse at kind of the levity between these two. Like things aren't kind of crashing down around them. They have like a moment of like levity. Here's what we get. We get dancing as a suggestion.
Dancing lessons must be. I think a man of your station should be able to guide a gracefully beautiful woman down a dance floor, Bruce.
Yeah, and again, it's like it's a fun little moment. It's like a little, fun casual Bruce. It's a glimpse of what the show would be if we didn't have bad stuff befalling the Wayne house every season.
Right.
And then we get a great moment, and again, the score was really good in this moment. And again, honestly, I think the score in this scene was so Tim Burton-esque. I loved it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
it's so Batman.
And I would also
Batman
think
Returns.
The setup and the situation in general is very Tim Burton-esque.
Yeah, but I mean, I tell you, for this scene though, it sounds so much like kind of the Penguin's theme from Batman Returns to in places. So then we have the At first, I thought it was Selena Kyle, but then oh my God, when he walked out of there, we see Doppel Bruce's reveal. Oh man. It's, our Bruce and Alfred are just kind of shocked seeing Doppel Bruce, and he's saying, please don't hurt me.
And I gotta say, I'm stoked for this. I'm really excited to see where they go. Like, I don't know, Dragon. When they first revealed Doppel Bruce at the end of season 2, I literally thought, like, oh, dear God, what are we in for? I'm intrigued now.
I knew. I told you from the beginning, I knew what they might be going for. Anyway, so I'm very fascinated to see where they're going to go next with Doppel Bruce beating Bruce Wayne again. So he's not presenting himself as a threat yet, but again, a hate could be cultivated, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, especially if he's if he gets to know Bruce and becomes super jealous.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm thinking it's a very intriguing development that he's meeting Bruce Wayne so early on in the season.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, we got Valerie and Jim have a moment together. Where basically Valerie's stopping by Jim's mythical apartment, but now actualized in this season, to inform him, inform Jim of her interview with Bullock, about how Fish got away, the Fish got away story. Mm-hmm. Fish off the hook. That'll be the headline. Anyway, so basically, it's revealed that just the she put it together how Jim most likely struck a deal with Fish and also struck a deal with the Penguin.
Oh yeah.
And Penguin didn't kill Fish, which it means no million. I do have to question do you think Penguin's going to honor the million arrangement or no?
I'd like to think so, just because of Jim's, he has so much respect for Jim. That's the only thing. If it was just any street level thug, I don't think he'd give it a second glance. But I don't know, maybe he'll pay it out in increments, perhaps. I don't know. I'd like to think something comes of that.
Here's the thing, because kind of what Valerie points out in the scene is that Jim points out also he's not rolling in the money. I would be a millionaire if what you're saying is true. And the point is that the Gotham doesn't know that Fish is alive. Basically, Gotham doesn't know that Fish is dead because the Penguin will parade out the body, so no one knows if Fish is dead or not. So the million still will be up for grabs. So again, if people might notice that if Jim Gordon became a millionaire, that's the thing.
Sure.
I assume he would hide it, but still, that's the only reason I can see that Gordon would not get the $1 million. Because again, there was also that glance to him. That was also a realization of hey, you helped me out do this.
Right.
Anyway, so we'll see. I assume Penguin's going to stop by to tell Gordon what happened or something, so Gordon knows whether he gets the $1 million or not. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, so then we have this really it points out that you're going to have a hard time collecting that $1 million, which again, I think is kind of cementing what I'm putting out there. It's unclear if he's going to get the $1 million or not.
No, you're right.
I assume he's not going to, just the way this conversation goes. It's my guess, though. We'll see.
I'd like to see at least Penguin be conflicted about it, though.
Yeah, I wanted to see it. I definitely want to see it addressed because we're kind of. It could either go the Greg Universe route, where Jim Gordon has a whole bunch of money for a season. Anyway, so maybe Gordon buys a better apartment
set back.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, so then again, the big question of the season is posed by Valerie very directly: who are you, Jim Gordon?
Oh yeah.
And then this is a nice moment. It's a sweet moment because they are kind of they're competitive. They have some chemistry together. They have good chemistry together, and then we have some really wonderful. We have really wonderful music playing in this. I love the score in this scene, too. I love the score for this scene. It's so old movie. It's so noir. It's so great. I love it all. Where they it sounds so much like an old movie where they says just shut up and just shut up for once shut up. And he brings her close and he kisses her, and then it's literally like an old movie telling the girl shut up. And shut up.
Even more like an old movie. After that, we have a train car pulling up, and guess who's back?
Oi!
Oh boy! So this is going to put a little bit of a wrinkle into the situation. Dragon, I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised to see her back so early.
Yeah, I love just kind of the old movie reels. They got a train station, all this steam and everything
totally
around her. It looks really cool. We also have a little bit of idealistic kind of lighting behind her. It's a little bright behind her. it's all that wonderful score. The ending comes the from. A lot of people are giving it issues like they don't want to see Lee back or something. I don't know why.
I'm not in that camp at all because I frankly to me it'd be a little bit more jarring if they just kind of dropped Lee after she was a major focal point of 1.5 seasons. So,
well, we'll see how things play. The point is, I was satisfied with the ending, with the score, and it all kind of came together as all very kind of classic and fitting in kind of that old school theme we're going with Gordon this season. At the very least, this episode, and that's the episode.
All right, so let's get into some speculation about episode 3, which is called Look Into My Eyes. Now, most importantly, Dragon, of course, the big selling point. Finally, we get Mad Hatter on this show, and I'm excited.
So here's what we saw in the promo. So real quick, I'm just going to list off the points that we saw there. So again, we saw Mad Hatter hypnotizing via the eyes. So that's why he's specifying look into my eyes, not the side, not everything. Look in my eyes.
Of course,
he's very creepy, and it sounds like he wants revenge, given the dialogue that's spoken in the promo.
Yeah, he kind of talks in a bit of a rhyme, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's pulled directly from Alice in Wonderland or not. Obviously the Gotham thing.
I don't think it's pulled from. It's not pulled from Wonderland. I would have recognized Wonderland, but.
Looking Glass or something.
No, I'm pretty literate with Carol. I would have
All
recognized.
right,
Carol,
fine.
trust
Well,
me,
if you hear a line in that, I'm going to put it on you. The next episode going forward, if you hear any Lewis Carroll lines, I want you to point them out.
Dragon, I will gladly be the Lewis Carroll expert. Okay.
Okay, be that.
That's my thing. That's my thing.
Okay,
I will
so Jim
gladly
and
take
Leslie.
that position.
Okay, so Gordon and Leslie, they reunite at the GCPD. We see in a quick glimpse, Doppel Bruce gets a haircut.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And also, just from the quick glimpse, we only got like a real quick glimpse. I think he's going for the season 1 haircut, too. I don't know.
A little bit. Yeah, I can see that.
Anyway, so looking at old photos, maybe that's how he gets that. I don't know. Anyway, so Bruce and Selena have somewhat of a tender moment. They're holding hands for a bit. I'm not saying it's too much to read in there. I'm just saying we quickly saw the two, and we're gonna have a scene together. So there's that. We see the awesome flashlight fight with Jim Gordon. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Great shot from the trailer where he's fighting people with the flashlight in hand. Right,
Right.
That this episode. Penguin is in a meeting and guns are drawn on him, so I think Penguin's going to run into some trouble.
Interesting.
Last thing is Gordon is on the edge of a building, implying that he is getting controlled by the Mad Hatter next episode, which does make me worried a little bit. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, any broad spectrum speculation you want to get into before final thoughts?
Okay, well, yeah, here's a speculation thing we got here. Is that
Sure.
I think I'm going to call that Lee will I know there's like a few lines mentioned of Mario, like she's met a guy named Mario, which I assume what Mario's role is going to be this season is my guess. Just speculating if we're going to get him in the next episode, or if he's going to be foreshadowed in the next episode. Is that Lee will introduce Mario Falcone into Penguin's story. So I think that gun that's on Penguin is in conjunction with Mario Falcone. That's my guess. So I think Mario is going to be introduced via Lee coming back to Gotham. He's going to be going back with Lee, and that's going to be he's trying to reclaim Gotham, perhaps on the sidelines. I think Lee is going to start Jim's recovery after the Mad Hatter shenanigans he's going to go through in the next couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Lee's going to jumpstart the whole you can move past me now, go with your new life sort of thing. I don't know.
Right, I can see that.
I'm going to guess this really broad spectrum. I think the first half of the season, kind of our first half, is going to be mostly Hatter and familiar faces. That's my call. Is that Mad Hatter's going to? I know he's going to have an influence on at least this up from episode 3 to 9. Is going to be Mad Hatter.
Oh wow, really? Like that? Okay, so
all I know is that
like. I'm sorry. I'm just saying he's basically like kind of all in it for the majority of the mid-season now.
Yeah, all I know what's been claimed about the Mad Hatter is that I don't know if that's him in all episodes or if his ramifications in all episodes.
Okay,
the point is Mad Hatter will have stakes in episodes 3 to 9.
Curious.
We'll see. Curious.
Curious.
Anyway, so I think it's going to be mostly Hatter, but in the episodes with that Hatter, I think we're going to get some familiar faces. Perhaps Solomon Grundy. Basically, I think it's going to be Monsters and Mad Hatter are going to be in the first half.
Okay.
And which I think the season will end on Jerome. I think Jerome's going to be the big bad towards the tail end.
Yeah, we kind of made that in our speculation podcast. I think I'd stick to that as well.
I'm just saying, for doing familiar faces, I think Jerome will be definitely the one to end on of familiar faces. Of Monsters, I think he's the creme de la creme of Monsters coming back. So.
Oh, I would definitely say so, yeah.
And I think the court mainly this first half will be represented by the Doppel Bruce story. That will be the main kind of that will be Bruce's way of investigating the Corvallis without breaking their word.
But then I think the second half will get into some more of the major intrigue and espionage of the Court of Owls storyline.
Basically, my call for how that transition is going to go is I'm going to guess this. I'm going to speculate that Bruce will at some point later in the season, towards the tail end, will reunite with Hugo Strange through Doppel Bruce leading him there, and Strange will provide the Court of Owls exposition that the Court of Owls exposition that will take us into the second half.
I can see that.
And the second half will pretty much, all I can say, because it's the second half at this point, is I think it's going to be all Court of Owls and examination into Gotham's history.
Do you think Ivy is going to have a bigger presence in this half of the season, or do you think they're going to slowly build her and she'll have a bigger presence in the second half?
Well, I think they're going to go the route of the Penguin thing at first, where she's going to be making her way back to Gotham.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be before she's going to reunite Selena Kyle in this half. So the first half, she's going to be reuniting Selena Kyle. Here, she's going to be doing some stuff with Bruce this season. We'll see. Perhaps it's a way of investigating the court. I don't know.
I'm going to take a kind of a guess and say this story is going to be all about kind of getting us used to this new and hopefully very much improved version of very hopefully improved version of Poison Ivy. And then I would say, Dragon, I wouldn't be surprised if next half we kind of have a bit of a split advertising between Court of Owls and Poison Ivy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they market Poison Ivy the same way they marketed Mr. Freeze in kind of the early episodes of season 2 season 2B, you know what I mean, the spring edition of Gotham last year.
That's fair. I think if either Ivy's going to be one of the big bads for the first half, or Jerome is, and if they don't do Jerome, they're going to save Jerome for the kind of tying into kind of the Gotham's history segment of. Basically, okay. I think now that I think about it, Jerome might be better tied in if they're doing Court of Owls and examination of Gotham's history. Basically, you limit your villains to one big one being Jerome, and the Court of Owls being the other all-encompassing one. So you can do that as your second half, because people know Jerome is coming this season. They don't know how or when. So I don't know. Jerome, I think, could support a whole arc along with Court of Owls. Like, you have the Cult of the Joker, have all that stuff. Building the second half, I assume if they're going to go in the Harley Quinn direction, if they're going in that direction, that will be something that will be explored in the second half. So maybe now I think that Jerome might be more second half, and Ivy might be our big villain for the first half, along with the monsters.
All right.
Last thing I want to speculate on is I think by the end of the first half, Ivy is going to gain Fish Mooney's controlling abilities.
Oh, okay. I like that.
And that's how you get the kiss. That's how you get the trademark kiss of Poison Ivy.
You know what, Dragon? You're right. You kind of turned me around a little bit. I'm still not crazy about the idea of Fish having it, but if it's a necessary evil to make that element of the story make sense, then I'm willing to take it.
Here's my guess of how they can do that, D. Last thing I guess is that if Hugo's trained, she can't cure Fish Mooney, but he can transfer her abilities as a way of curing her, and that would be transfer it to Poison Ivy.
Interesting. I like where you're going with that.
And maybe her plant immunity that she does have would be a way of her not dying. Basically, she would. She surrounds herself by so many plants. I'm not saying we start off again. I want to make her too plant-like, but if it's an evolution of maybe I don't know if we'll see going forward if she has pheromone powers or not. Which is still light enough that I can still accept that. Just she has like a pheromone thing. So maybe that's like some sort of. Even in the animated series, when she was human, she did have a plant immunity because she surrounds herself with toxic materials all the time.
Okay.
So I could buy that. Maybe that's her way of not dying along with that ability. So you can slowly build her up to that ridiculous, kind of overly planted up Poison Ivy.
All right, so I guess that's the only thing you got. Let's get into your final thoughts.
Yeah. Well, again, I really liked this episode, except for those three kind of mixed elements of it. And again, the one less mixed element of Barbara's line. But again, minor things in the grand scheme. I get a lot of really good development this episode. Again, Ivy isn't starting off on a bad leg like she did the other episode. Really solid with the Penguin and Fish Mooney. I was so blown away with that and how it all connects, and a little bit of the direction Jim Gordon might take following kind of Penguin and Fish Mooney stuff. I mean, I'm liking a lot of what this episode gives me.
Yeah, Dragon, I definitely think we're on the right path as well. I think this is it's a really good start to the season. I hope that the season kind of keeps up the consistency that it's been having. I'm not sure it can. I'm not sure it will. The Mad Hatter stuff I'm excited about, but at the same time, there is the back of my mind thing like, oh, it could go on for too long and they could really fuck it up. And if I don't like it, early on and there's a lot of it, that could be bad. But,
because we're also supposed to be sympathetic towards Mad Hatter because he's looking for his sister Alice. So we'll see.
Sure. I'm willing to give it a chance, Dragon. I think you and I are both a lot more forgiving about the show than most people, but I think you and I, we see a lot more redeeming values. We see that the writers very much are trying to craft a well-woven narrative between Penguin and Gordon throughout these three seasons so far. So that's all I got. It's just a really, really good episode. I can't wait to see if they can continue this streak that they've got going and deliver some other really interesting stuff in the future of the season. I think we're off to a good start.
The Court of Owls stuff is very strong. I'm looking forward to where we go next with that as well.
Yeah.
I guess to end it off then?
Yeah.
So remember, kids, no matter how dark and scary the world may be right now, there will be light. There will be light.
Until next time, when we go exploring Gotham yet again. I had to carry you around in a baby carriage, Jim. A baby carriage. Ooh, 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 ooh.